27th May, 1942. The Libyan desert. Heat shimmers across endless Al-Remal, and in the distance, movement. A British reconnaissance patrol has spotted something. A German SDKFZ-222 moving carefully across the horizon. Under standard military doctrine, this moment is simple. Observe, report, retreat. Because to engage enemy armor in a reconnaissance vehicle is to invite destruction. But on this day, something different happens. The British crew does not flee. Instead, the driver engages a fluid flywheel transmission. The commander rotates the turret, and suddenly a 2-pounder gun barks into the desert morning. The shot lands, direct hit, 400 yards. The German vehicle erupts into flames. Shock spreads faster than the fire, because this isn't supposed to happen. Before the enemy can react, the British vehicle is already gone, reversing at 45 miles per hour. Sand explodes beneath its wheels, dust clouds rise like a storm, and within seconds it disappears, untouched, unpunished, unbelievable. Fast forward 2 years and 10 days. 6th June, 1944, Normandy, Juno Beach. The sea is chaos. Gunfire tears through the air. Men fall before reaching the sand. And then, through the freezing surf, something emerges. A massive machine. Low, heavy, unstoppable. It looks like a Churchill tank, but something is wrong. It has no proper gun. Instead, a short, thick barrel protrudes from its turret, like a piece of industrial machinery. Strange, unfamiliar, almost absurd. But this machine has a purpose. Ahead, a concrete seawall, reinforced, immovable. And behind it, German machine guns pinning Allied soldiers to the beach. The tank rolls forward. Bullets strike its armor, sparks flying. But it does not stop. A hatch opens. A crewman climbs out, exposed, completely exposed. With steady hands, he lifts a massive 40-pound explosive charge and loads it by hand. The weapon fires, not with a crack, but with a deep, concussive thud. The projectile arcs through the air, slow, heavy, unavoidable. Impact, a flash of white. Concrete explodes, steel twists, smoke consumes everything. The bunker is gone, erased. These are not conventional weapons. These are not conventional machines. In the brutal crucible of the Second World War, Britain faced a reality. The rules of war were failing. Early in the conflict, British reconnaissance units were outmatched. Their vehicles were lightly armed, their weapons ineffective. The boys' anti-tank rifle, heavy, inaccurate, punishing. Machine guns, useless against armored targets. When they encountered German scouts, armed with rapid-fire cannons, the outcome was predictable. Retreat or die. Morale collapsed. Reconnaissance became a death sentence, and without reconnaissance, the army was blind. At the same time, another problem was growing. Across Europe's coastline, the Germans were building something enormous, the Atlantic Wall. Concrete bunkers, walls meters thick, designed to stop an invasion before it began. At Dieppe in 1942, the Allies learned the truth the hard way. Standard tanks, standard weapons could not break through. Infantry were cut down. Armor was ineffective. The cost was devastating. 2 problems, 2 impossible challenges. How do you give a scout car enough firepower without destroying its speed? And how do you destroy a bunker that even tanks cannot break? The answers would come from engineers willing to ignore the rules. For the reconnaissance problem, the solution was radical. Not a better scout car, but a wheeled tank. The Daimler Armoured Car. It carried a real anti-tank gun, the same 2-pounder used on British tanks, not a compromise, not an imitation, the real thing. its turret taken directly from a light tank, its engine paired with an advanced pre-selector gearbox, a system so refined it allowed instant gear changes, even in reverse. 5 forward gears, 5 reverse gears, meaning it could fight and escape without ever turning around. It wasn't just fast, it was unpredictable, and when it entered the battlefield, everything changed. British patrols stopped running, they started hunting. German reconnaissance units, once confident, now found themselves outgunned, outmatched, outplayed. Even in Normandy, where dense hedgerows limited visibility, the Daimler adapted. Low-profile variants slipped through narrow lanes, gathering intelligence deep behind enemy lines. It wasn't just a scout anymore, it was a weapon. But for the bunkers, a different kind of solution was needed. Enter the Churchill AVRE, a tank transformed into a demolition machine. Its weapon, the Petard mortar, a 290mm launcher firing a 40-pound explosive. The soldiers gave it the name, the Flying Dustbin, because that's exactly what it looked like. The design was bizarre, the loading process dangerous, the range short, but none of that mattered, because when it hit, nothing survived. On D-Day, these machines rolled into history. They approached bunkers head-on, ignoring machine gun fire, closing the distance, and then they fired. The explosions were devastating, not just destructive, but psychological. The shockwave alone could kill those inside. Concrete shattered, positions collapsed, defenses disappeared. And beyond destruction, the AVRE did something even more important. It solved problems. Anti-tank ditches filled with massive bundles of wood. Barbed wire crushed. Roadblocks destroyed. It didn't just fight the battlefield, it reshaped it. Compared to other nations, this approach was unique. Germany built advanced machines like the Puma, powerful, sophisticated, but rare. America built thousands of armored cars, fast, numerous, but lightly protected. Britain chose something different: balance, innovation, practicality. Machines that weren't perfect, but were exactly what the battlefield needed, and their impact was undeniable. The Daimler restored confidence, turned fear into aggression, gave reconnaissance units the power to fight back. The Churchill AVRE broke the Atlantic Wall, turned impossible defenses into temporary obstacles. And even after the war, their legacy endured. The Daimler continued serving for decades, in jungles, in mountains, across continents, a machine designed in desperation that refused to become obsolete. Today, only a few remain, silent, preserved, but they tell a story of a time when survival depended on thinking differently, when engineers looked at a problem and refused to accept defeat. They saw a scout car and turned it into a tank hunter. They saw a bunker and answered with a flying dustbin. These machines were not elegant, not comfortable, not safe, but they worked. And in war, that is everything. Because sometimes the strangest ideas are the ones that win.